When I was in high school, I had a scoutmaster who owned a BMW Z3 sports car. And I gotta tell you guys, that thing was sweet. He used to take us for rides around town in that thing. So much fun. Well, when I turned 16, I asked him if I could borrow it, if I could drive it. And to my surprise, he said, yeah, I could. So I went over to his house, picked it up, and he said that I could drive it around for a day. Well, of course, I was out racing people and driving around, showing it off as much as I could. And I had some friends who were going to be meeting up to go to lunch or get ice cream or something. So I wanted to take the Z3 over and show it off to them. When I got there, one of my friend's older brother, Garrett, asked if he could drive the car. Now, he also knew this scoutmaster, so I said, dude, if you want to drive it, call up John, the owner of the car, ask him if you can drive it, and if he says yes, then you're good to go. So he calls John, gets permission, decides he wants to drive the car. So we're all going out to get ice cream, like I said, or something to eat. Garrett's driving the Z3, I'm in the passenger seat, and all of our other friends, pile into one of the guys' trucks that's there. So we get heading out, we're following the truck, there's a few cars in between us and the truck, and I'm like, dude, you're going really slow, because Garrett is just puttering along in the Z3. In fact, he probably would have been going faster in the family car. And he was probably worried about it, probably didn't want to be too crazy with it. But I'm like, dude, you gotta go fast in this car because that's the kind of car it is. It's a sports car. You gotta go fast. And he's like, but I can't. There's a bunch of cars ahead of me. And so I said, look, dude, this is a 3-lane road. The middle lane is the suicide lane or the turning lane. Use that to get around people. That's what I've been doing all day. And at first he's like, no, I don't want to do that. And finally he gives in and starts going around the cars. And he's going really fast, so he's getting this exhilaration going. This adrenaline pump, and he gets excited, so he starts doing it more and more. Well, just as we're passing our friends in the truck, the suicide lane is coming to an end. And so he has to go really fast to make sure he gets past them so that he doesn't go into the other lane of traffic. And of course, just as he does that, a cop goes by going the other direction, sees what he's doing, flips around, turns on his lights, and starts coming after us. So at this point, Garrett starts freaking out because now he's been doing some illegal stuff in the car. He's been driving really fast, going around cars, using the suicide lane, and now he's got a cop after him. He starts freaking out, doesn't know what to do, and just steps on it. Just starts driving really fast, trying to run from the cop. Now, the cop was a few cars behind us, and he's trying to get around all the cars to get to us, but I know that if we stay going on this road, he's going to catch us, he's going to pull us over. Now, quite honestly, I wasn't too worried about it because I was a passenger and didn't think that I'd get any trouble. But I knew that Garrett would get in trouble, and since he's freaking out, I don't want him to do anything stupid. So I'm like, dude, duck into this neighborhood over here. I know it pretty well. I can give you directions as to where to go. So he pulls into the neighborhood, and right at the beginning of this neighborhood is a really big hill that goes up, and then it goes down the back side, and then there's a bunch of little streets that you can take, or you can just keep going forward. So he guns it up this hill. This is a neighborhood that you're supposed to be going like 25, and he's doing 60. I mean, he's flying past these houses. I'm pretty sure we're about to catch air going over the top. And our friends in the truck behind us recognize that we're now running from the cops, so they want to help us out. So they pull into the neighborhood too, and as they're going up this hill, they're going really, really slow so that when the cop gets in behind them, he has to slow down and can't get around them very fast. Well, since he's got his lights and siren on, they have to pull over, but they take their time pulling over. They know that he's not just going to go around them really fast in case there's a car coming from the other side of the hill, going the opposite direction. So they mosey their way over. Finally, the cop gets around them, comes screaming up the hill over the top, coming after us. Fortunately, by this time, we've made it down the back side of the hill, and I'm telling Garrett, hey, turn here, turn there. I'm trying to get us as deep into the neighborhood as I can, hoping that the cop's going to just go past us. So we are flying still through this neighborhood, going around these corners, making screeching noises. It's all crazy. We find this cul-de-sac. We basically just sit in the middle of this cul-de-sac, waiting for the cop to show up, like expecting him to come in, come pull us over. Garrett's freaking out. He thinks he's going to get arrested and not going to be able to go to college and all this stuff. And I'm telling him, dude, just settle down. Cop's not going to find us. And fortunately, the cop didn't find us. So we met up with our friends later. We were talking to them, and they said that as soon as the cop went around them, they went flying up the hill, too, to see where the cop went. And at the time, none of us had cell phones, so we didn't have any way of staying in communication so that they could tell us where the cop was. But luckily, the cop went straight down the hill and just kept going straight and around this turn. and out of the neighborhood, and so he didn't even try and look for us in any of the side streets in the neighborhood. So we got away, we made it to hang out with our friends. Garrett was freaking out for like ever about that, and it was pretty nuts. Like, we totally ran from the cops while he had his lights on. It's not like he was just following us. Like, he had his lights and siren on, was totally coming after us. Absolutely crazy experience. If you enjoyed the story, hit like and subscribe, share it with your friends, and I will see you guys in the next video.